Greetings beloveds, this is Jen here and welcome to my second ever video blog. I feel very inspired to share with you all today certain aspects of the energetics that are coming through Gaia at the moment, particularly to do with the solstice and what was actually happening with our planet throughout the solstice portal. I speak about this a lot in my articles but I'm just coming through with some fresh information from my higher self, and I want to talk now about the full moon in Capricorn, as the full moon in Capricorn represents a time for all of us on our spiritual path, the spiritual twins and the matrix twins, the masculine and the feminine aspects of all of ourselves now, to really face our most core vulnerabilities and to really bring the healing balm of love and presence to our most core vulnerabilities, because this is really an opportunity for us to master this, because the moon is not really, she's not so comfortable in the sign of Capricorn, so it means that there's a light at the moment being shone on some of our most most wounded aspects or most frozen aspects, and so it can feel quite difficult for a lot of us, especially us empaths and light workers, because we're having to go back and reface so many of those wounds that we genuinely believed we had cleared. But one little bit of advice and reminder for the spiritual twins right now is that actually what has happened is that the matrix twins have stepped forth in this gateway, in this solstice gateway, up until this blood moon. The universe has decreed that this be a time of the matrix twins, who are mainly embodying the masculine vibration on the planet, for them to come online. Brothers and sisters, we did not sign up to do this alone. We signed up to do it as a unit. We signed up to do it as a pair. But because of the soul contracts of the matrix twins and the spiritual twins, the matrix twins have had to go very, very far and very, very deep into the matrix in order to essentially bring all those ascension frequencies, bring that higher unconditional love to those places. So it has appeared to many of us in the twin flame community recently. It can seem to us as though our twin flames, our matrix twins, are maybe even going backwards. But the message is, they're not going backwards. They are revisiting these core wounded aspects of themselves now for them to merge with their higher self. The energies that have been coming through this solstice portal are infused with divine masculine particles that have been sent forth to trigger, activate and awaken the dormant DNA patternings, particularly within the masculine matrix twin flames at the moment. We have all signed up for this, and though it may appear as though our matrix twins are not as aware or not as awakened as us, we all fervently feel their presence and their etheric love on the higher planes and the inner planes, and that is because they are here and they are working with us, and they are working in deep and divine service to the divine plan to bring the light into the deepest aspect of the matrix, and they are working with us constantly, their spiritual twins, to keep our frequency high, keep our frequency aligned with unconditional love by keeping our telepathic portal open towards each other. Then they are doing absolutely amazing work at the moment, and there is a really strong message coming through from Spirit, requesting support and understanding and empathy, and are standing under for the matrix twins right now. They're in a time of vulnerability, and for a lot of them it is not comfortable for them to have to witness and experience their dark side and their vulnerability and their shadow self and the void. But this is where their soul is being called to right now, because unless they face that darkest shadow in themselves, they cannot possibly hold that space within another. So the twin flame union is all about ultimately it is about dancing with our darkness, and it is about dancing with our light, and they are both equally welcome, and they are both equally in balance and equally necessary on this path. So the matrix twins, the masculine energy, is in direct receivership of a transmission of higher solar particles that are coming through right now, which is opening their heart centers, which is reaching down to their base centers, which is activating and stirring their kundalini. This is part of the divine plan. This is a highly essential gateway that we are in terms of the twin flame trajectory, in terms of the first wave ascension pioneers coming into their planetary positions right now as unified whole units of God consciousness. This is what is happening now, beloveds, and for all of us it may seem chaotic, because we can only see what is happening from our third dimensional perspective. But we cannot understand the higher perspective. We cannot understand why God is making this happen and that happen, and this synchronicity happen and that meeting happen and that alignment happen. We cannot know that because our consciousness does not have the capacity to understand that. So as ever, we are being called to deeper and deeper trust. And for many of us, spiritual twins, those who have sacrificed our life to walk this mystic path, for many of us, that is our greatest lesson, is to trust. And beloveds, I come forth now with this message that yes, we are being called to dig ever deeper right now at this time into the sacred well of trust and hope that burns brightly in our hearts. These are powerful and transformative times that we are all living in right now. And before I go, I always feel it's really, really necessary to reiterate this message. The most important thing we have come here to remember is to love ourselves. We have not been shown, we have not been demonstrated, nobody has taught us, nobody has role modelled to us what this is. And for many of us, we have been searching around in the dark through massages and healings and juices and practices to try and make this a reality. But beloveds, I come through now at this time to offer you the greatest pearl of wisdom that I have attained on my spiritual path. And that is, within us all, we all carry the wounded feminine and we all carry the wounded masculine. And she has her form and she has her energetic frequency and she is of the dark. We all have that. That is our shadow. That is our ego. That is what we came here with. For many, many of us, we have believed that it was necessary to get rid of this aspect, or maybe to deny this aspect, or work or process this aspect. Beloveds, I come forth now with a very important message for you, that all this aspect needs ever from any of us is love. Love where we, as our higher self, as our self that is anchored in presence, steps forward and stands under that aspect of the shadow, because there's a reason why she's there, and she has a tale to tell, and her tale is worthy of being heard. And maybe you have thought all along that you are looking for somebody else to come and hold that darkest aspect of yourself. But I come to assure you today, dear beloveds, that all she needs is your love. All she is asking for is your presence, for you are the source, and you are intimately related to the divine of all that is. Beloveds, I pray with all my heart that you receive this transmission, and I feel that I would really like to share a song with you all from my heart to your heart. There we go, beloveds. Namaste. I love you. Feel the love. Come back to your heart. Hold your twin in your heart now. Send him all the love that she needs. All is well.